My little sister just told me that our parents said that they regret having her. Something's wrong with your parents to say that to a 6-year-old. Do you have some close relatives to talk to? If you move out, can you reside nearby? Your parents may be willing to let your sister visit often or spend the weekend. Children can grow up fine, even if there's just one person who cares about them and makes them feel loved. The term for that is a rescue parent, and it really makes a world of difference. But be careful to take care of yourself if you become that. I had to take on that role very young, and it fucked me up. I would do it all again to shield my brother from it. But if I had been older or more experienced, or had my own support, I might have turned out better. I'm in the same boat. I'm this person for my siblings. I'm in my early 20s now, but have been doing it for years, and there is literally nothing more exhausting and heartbreaking. Not to mention it can really affect your social and dating life. It makes you old very young. I'm 30 and honestly I haven't really recovered from it. Sounds dramatic, but combined with the inaccessibility of good therapy and my own disabilities, yeah. I'm working on it still. I wish you continued strength and healing. Thank you. You guys really did something special and should be very proud of yourselves. I'm feeling better about humanity just reading these comments and post. Except for the Ashats who caused the grief in the first place. Seriously. WTF is wrong with some people? PM me. As I offer a bee-slapping service that may help right a wrong. Have car. Will travel. You have 2 months. I don't know how you should handle this, but you have 2 months to collect recordings. Keep a journal of what they are doing and any other evidence of their neglect/abuse. Do not let on what you are up to. This way, whatever the future holds for you and your sister, you will have the proof you need to deal with this. Edit. Apparently, depending on where you live, this may not be legal. Op, if you see this, check first. And best of luck to you however it goes. The sad fact of this is that children with special needs that are taken in by the state often find themselves in even worse situations. Though it is hard to say how bad this situation is. And maybe this bit of verbal abuse is just the tip of the abuse iceberg. Not saying that he should not collect this evidence and whatnot, but if his parents otherwise seem normal and have been decent people before this, he might want to talk to them about counseling and seeing someone about their attitude. There are resources for them if they are struggling with raising a child with special needs. It can be hard and this seems incredibly unforgivably outrageous, but as always it is one side of the story, and probably a bit exaggerated by the outrage of hearing your parents say something about how hard it is to raise someone with special needs. I agree. There can be so many other factors. Especially in these times with so many families struggling financially. Collecting evidence is something constructive op can start doing right away, but it also gives the situation time to settle and defuse naturally potentially. OMG, that's so fucked up. I'm so sorry for your sister. Take her with you. Can sibling get custody of younger siblings? Do that. I read a story on here where a 20-year-old girl adopted her 14-year-old sister since she was living in an abusive environment. Can you take care of a 6-year-old though? To piggyback off this, at 20 years old it will be tough. I think your best chance is to find a relative who can help. If they can't, contact DHR. She doesn't need to be in that home, and at 6 years old it's getting really close to a point where it will cause a lot of harm to her future. Yep. Children this age need encouragement from their parents or they will grow up to have confidence issues. Erickson's 8 stages of development says a lot about this. Initiative vs guilt. If her parents chide her or abuse her for being who she is, she will have problems with interpersonal skills, decision making, and insecurity later on. I would contact CPS to be honest. She's being verbally abused, and her special needs are more than likely not being tended to properly. She deserves better. Don't try to solve this yourself. Get the proper authorities to handle it. Your sister probably needs some professional help to be able to process what your parents told her. Good luck to the both of you. I second this. People rarely involve the authorities in such situations and they make a huge mistake by doing so only to regret later. This isn't benign in any way. Plus there are resources available to help. What a horrid wound for your sister. Mercy. Do they normally have that attitude towards her? If you have a decent job you could try and become her guardian if you move out. I have a friend who had a similar thing happen to him. His sister gained custody over him, and from what I understand he only had to sign saying he wanted that to happen. I could be wrong and there is certainly other steps, but it is a viable option. First of all, you're a good brother. Second of all, your parents are pros. Third of all, she's 6. Kids her age have a right to be annoying. That's what they do. You might be able to get custody of her when you move out. I'm not 100% sure. I would go to r/legalabis. But if you get custody they would have to pay you for her care. You and this post reminded me of Uncle Buck lol. She's only 6. I don't think I wanna know a 6-year-old who isn't a dreamer. Or a silhouette. I know a good kid when I see one. Because they're all good kids until dried out. Brain dead skags like you drag them down and convince them they're no good. Poor girl needs to know she's got potential. They all do. Parents aren't even giving her a chance. Kids are all annoying sometimes, but they usually grow up and learn how to be regular people with the right guidance. As someone who was treated like your younger sister, save her the years of trauma and tear her the F out of there. Digital hug. I had a shitty childhood too. Turns out I'm on the spectrum, Asperger's. I have a high IQ, but I presented like I was slow. I remember my family always calling me adult, that I have no common sense. And no one spending time with me past age 7. I never took the SATs or applied to college, fully believing I was too stupid. I didn't get tested until age 33. I hope you're having a better life now. This broke my heart. Made me cry at my desk. She doesn't deserve this. That's all I can say. Yeah. Children are miracles. My niece is 3, and I always tell her she's loved, and she's special, and play with her. She can be a handful and she's behind developmentally, but she's a wonderful person, and deserves love and attention. Being so unloving to your own child is just monstrous. I promised my daughter, when she was born, that I would tell her I loved her at least 10 times a day. She's gotten older now, so I don't always have a chance to tell her this as much, but I still do it daily and show her how much I love her. Unfortunately CPS won't always see what they're doing to this child as being neglectful. Can you take your sister with you? I hope I'll be able to. I wonder if your parents would welcome the idea given how annoyed they are by her. The comment about aborting her seems to say it wouldn't be much of a fight unless they are feeling vindictive. You're a really good brother. Take her with you. Take her with you, my man. Well, they wanted to abort one child and now they have lost both. They are terrible people. They are huge assholes. Do what you can to help your sister, but I'd be absolutely vicious towards your parents. Verbally abuse them and give them a little bit of what they've been dishing at a 6-year-old. I would be absolutely despicable to them. Who tells their child they wish they aborted them? Vile creatures. Fight them on every front and in every way. Make their lives misery and teach them respect. Wear them down until they feel the age creep into their bones. Destroy them, king. As for good advice, call around and see what you can do. Do you have grandparents who would be better? Probably, considering they didn't abort your parents. Am I the only one not believing this story? Not trying to be a dick. But they just randomly, out of nowhere, told her they didn't want to have her? And they told you that if they knew how annoying she was they would have had an abortion? I know abusive parents exist, but nobody fucking talks like that unless they are part of a cheap karma grab. Is this for real? Because I cannot imagine anyone telling a 6-year-old something like this. Oblised people can definitely be this evil. I can't help your situation, but I really wish I could. If these past few years hadn't been so horrible on my pocket, I'd literally donate to you so you could find an apartment or lawyer. I appreciate your generosity, but I make decent money at my job and already found a cheap place to live.